You are watching Picard Jr.'s channel. Believe it or not, there will come a time, and it may be closer than we imagine, when we will live on other worlds. Science and technology are advancing at a surprising pace, and what once seemed like science fiction is now becoming a real possibility. The Moon, our first destination beyond Earth, will be transformed into an operational base, a springboard for even bolder missions. From there, Mars will become the next major objective, promising new discoveries and challenges. But we won't stop there. The space between these worlds will also be our temporary home, a transit route for those venturing beyond known limits. Now let's stop and subscribe and like the channel. Our channel knows about all the things that happen. And when that day finally comes, as has always happened throughout human history, our children will look with curiosity to these new horizons. This curiosity, which has always been the driving force behind human progress, will be even more intense as they grow up in a world where space travel is commonplace. The desire to explore and go beyond will live on in each new generation, fueled by the adventures and discoveries of their predecessors. The spirit of exploration, which led us to the great navigations and the depths of the oceans, will now take us to the stars. However, beyond Mars, the distances between worlds increase drastically. Even within our own solar system, these distances are colossal, and when we start thinking about interstellar travel, they become almost unimaginable. To traverse these vast expanses, we will need technologies that we do not yet possess, but we are undoubtedly on the path to developing them. The vastness of space between the stars is not only a physical challenge, but also a challenge of time and energy. Every step forward into this unknown terrain brings us closer to overcoming these barriers. If we want to reach these distances, we need to learn how to travel fast. The speed we use today for space travel is not enough to cover the vastness of space in a time that makes sense for human life. Even with our most advanced technology, such as chemical or nuclear engines, we are still far from crossing great distances within a viable period. However, these limitations don't mean that we are stuck. We are continuously learning, and each breakthrough takes us a step closer to a future where speed will be the key to traversing the cosmos. With our current knowledge of physics and engineering, we can already conceive of nuclear-powered ships capable of taking humans to all the planets in our solar system. This is a significant advancement because it means we are closer to becoming a multi-planetary civilization. Nuclear technology has the potential to give us the energy needed to undertake long journeys without relying on conventional fuel. However, these journeys are still limited by the time they take. While we may dream of sending missions to places like Jupiter or Saturn, we are still far from being able to explore beyond the boundaries of our solar system. A spaceship equipped with a nuclear engine could take us to Proxima Centauri, the closest star to Earth, but such a journey would be extremely long. It is estimated that this trip would take hundreds of generations aboard the ship, with people being born and dying without ever seeing the final destination. This type of voyage raises complex ethical and practical questions. How do we maintain a stable and healthy society over so many centuries in the confinement of space? This challenge is as monumental as the technology required for the journey itself. It would take 2 years just to reach the orbit of Saturn, an impressive feat, but still insufficient to explore beyond our solar system. Saturn, with its majestic rings, represents one of the farthest points that our space probes have reached. And even this milestone would be just the beginning of a journey of epic proportions. From Saturn, the vastness of space becomes even more apparent, and the next destination, Proxima Centauri, would seem as distant as the stars in the night sky appear from where we are now. Reaching Proxima Centauri with current technology would take 2,000 years, an unimaginable time frame for any human mission. We need advances that can drastically reduce that time. Research into new forms of propulsion is essential to making interstellar travel a reality. One of the most promising options is fusion propulsion, which could allow us to travel much faster. Fusion, the process that powers the sun, would release an incredible amount of energy, enough to propel ships at a significant fraction of the speed of light. With the physics we know today and the engineering we are still developing, we can imagine a propulsion system that uses fusion to accelerate a spacecraft to unprecedented speeds. A fusion engine would be able to use nuclear reactions to create energy, allowing ships to travel at a small fraction of the speed of light. This advancement could drastically reduce the time needed to cross the solar system, turning years of travel into months. We are still far from achieving this level of technology, but each step forward brings us closer to this accomplishment. A spacecraft with a fusion engine could cross Saturn's orbit in just 6 months, a feat that, until recently, would have seemed impossible. If this becomes a reality, we wouldn't just be exploring our solar system. We would be opening the doors to interstellar exploration. The journey to Proxima Centauri, which today would take centuries, could be completed in just over a century. This would mean that within a few generations, we could begin colonizing other star systems. This kind of breakthrough would change the course of human history forever. However, if we want to traverse interstellar distances in less than a human lifetime, we will need to be incredibly fast. We are not talking about small adjustments to our current technology, but about a complete revolution in how we understand and manipulate space and time. The concept of warping space, which once seemed like pure fantasy, is now beginning to be explored by theoretical physicists. The idea of manipulating the structure of space around us could allow us to travel at speeds that, in practice, would exceed the speed of light without violating the laws of physics. The universe has already shown us that it is possible to alter the scale of space itself, as we see in cosmic phenomena such as black holes and gravitational distortions. These phenomena give us clues that we may learn to manipulate space for our own purposes. If we can figure out how to do this, we could create a ship that compresses the space in front of it and expands the space behind it. This would allow us to travel enormous distances in a matter of minutes or hours, instead of centuries. A ship with this capability could traverse the distance between Mars and Saturn in minutes, something unimaginable with current technology. This would open up new frontiers for space exploration, allowing us to colonize not only the planets in our solar system but also explore distant stars. The possibility of reaching Proxima Centauri in less than 6 months would no longer be a distant dream but a reality. From there would be no limits to where we could go. Perhaps, one day, humanity will look up at an alien sky and see stars we could never have imagined. The quest for the unknown will take us further and further, expanding our understanding of the universe. And when we look back at the small pale yellow that is our sun, we will know that we took a great leap toward our expansion as a species. That dot, our home, will be just a distant memory of where it all began. And this epic journey, this great leap into the unknown, starts today. That's it, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Live long and prosper.